Hey, welcome. In case you saw the last video about growing in containers, I'm going to show you maybe if you want to take the next step, how to set up a raised bed and how to make that produce some vegetables. I'm trying to keep this to about $50, and if you think about it, over the course of a year or two, you're going to more than make that money back. So maybe you have time now during the coronavirus to put a little effort in to grow some fresh vegetables to help make yourself healthy and save the planet. So let's get started. First of all, why raised beds? Well, a few reasons. One is they help keep the weeds out. You see like weeds in my trail here and stuff. But the main thing is that you're trying to build soil. The main lesson I can teach you as a gardener is that you're not growing plants, you're growing dirt. And the better your dirt is, then the plants will take care of themselves. And raised beds help you have deeper dirt. They also help you maintain dirt over time and stop erosion. They also help with moisture control. They sort of work more like a pot where they'll drain well, but they'll still hold moisture real well. So real easy process here. Get yourself about $15–20 worth of either cedar or pressure treated lumber. Some people might be suspicious about the pressure treated lumber and the chemicals and stuff, but I saw a study on Ohio Line, which is the Ohio Agriculture governmental site, that said that pressure treated wood and growing vegetables is perfectly fine. But either way, if you don't want to do pressure treated wood, get cedar because it'll last a long time. You just make a square. This one here is about 4 foot by 5 foot, and you know, just screw the boards together and lay it on the ground. Pretty easy. Don't make it too big, because you make it too big, then you won't be able to reach into the middle. I think this is about as big as you want to make a raised bed here, about 4 foot by 5 foot. And you don't have to dig up all of the grass and stuff. You can start by doing what's called sheet mulching. So say this was your box you put down and this is the grass in your yard. You could just lay cardboard on top of that grass. Make sure it's, you know, you peel off the tape or whatever, and that there can be black ink, but don't use other colors. If it has like a big colorful logo, don't use that one. Have it overlap a little bit, just kind of cover the grass. It'd probably be better if I weed whacked this first and then covered it. And then you're just gonna take, you wanna go for about 4 inches worth of soil. So if you buy those raised bed, garden beds, soils, the like ones that are 2 cubic feet, about 3 of those would fill up a bed this size. And then you just throw it on top of the cardboard, and what'll happen is all the grass underneath will die, but it won't get rid of all the nice topsoil that's with that grass. So it'll help it build better than if you dig the grass out all the way down to the clay and you get rid of that topsoil. So then once you have the dirt in there, just a little bit of organic fertilizer, and you're ready to plant. Now, a couple things about the location of a raised bed. You want to have as much sunlight as possible. They say 6 hours for like veggies and stuff. You know, that it can be a little less than that, especially like the cooler vegetables, like root vegetables and greens we talked about last time. But about 6 hours, so kind of maybe watch the sun one day and where it goes. Typically you want to be to the west and to the south. So you see, this is west, right? This is east, and I have a big tree right here to the east. The Skylar will show you. But I can grow because the sun's mostly to the west, right? So it's not shading this. So be to the west and be to the south of any trees or anything like that. And then, you know, make sure, you know, just count, kind of like pay attention, go out once an hour and see how much sun you have. Right now it's about the beginning of April, so there'll be more sun over time. So if you're getting 6 hours now, you're more than good. If you're getting 4.5 hours now, you're probably good to go. And then you just plant, and when you plant in it, you know, a couple things. One is pay attention to the spacing, whatever it says, like, you know, square foot for a tomato or 3 inches apart for seeds or whatever. Because one thing new gardeners often do is they get excited and they put too many plants in an area and then they don't produce as well. So be sure to follow the spacing guidelines, and also make your rows, make rows and angle them towards the sun as well. So I'll have rows that run like this, so that they all get about the exact same amount of sun. And then one other thing is, if you have taller plants, put those taller plants on the east and the north side. So I'm gonna grow peas like around here, and I'm gonna grow like cabbages that way. So the peas, they'll get tall, and they can get the sun over the tops of the cabbages, which will be shorter, right? So taller vegetables in the back, basically the east and the north side, and smaller vegetables to the south and the west. And the last thing is, it's good to often do what they call interplanting, which is planting two kinds of vegetables together, especially peas or beans. They'll put nitrogen back in the soil that the other vegetables will absorb. So I'll do in all these beds here, I'll do peas and then some other vegetable in front of them, because they're basically feeding each other as well. To get a good raised bed soil where you have, you see how nice and dark this soil is, and if, there's worms everywhere and bugs. It'll take you a few years. That soil that you get out of a bag is good, like it's a good consistency, but it has no life in it. It has no bacteria, it has no fungus, it has no bugs, it has no earthworms. And soil is really an ecosystem of all those things. And when you get all those things, that's when your plants will really grow well. The good news is you can grow with fertilizer and stuff right out of the bat. It'll grow and you'll make vegetables. But every year, as you add more compost at the beginning of the next year, more soil at the beginning of the next year, your dirt will get better. So you're making vegetables while you're making dirt, and your dirt will get better and you'll make more vegetables. So that's the advantages of raised beds. Real simple, just like pots. Most of the time around here in Ohio, you don't even have to water because it rains enough. But a good thing about raised beds, again, is they'll hold moisture. They'll drain any excess moisture, but the dirt will hold moisture in it real well. And it makes it easier to grow plants, to keep weeds out, and to develop that good thick soil. As Wendell Berry, the poet and activist and farmer, says, all of earthly existence depends on about 3 inches of nice topsoil. And that's what you're going for here, is you're trying to get 3-4 inches of really nice topsoil, so that your vegetables will really thrive. And look for more videos in the near future. Thanks.